Hey there, my name is Thomas O'Regan. I'm a professional property investor here in Australia. Now, I just wanted to go through what a deposit is today for any of you people out there that are looking to get into property and don't understand what or why you would need to pay a deposit to buy a property. So basically, in most circumstances, especially if you're buying your first property, it's most likely that you're going to have to get a loan for the property. And even if you could buy the property entirely in cash, I still would recommend getting a loan on the property. Why? Because getting a loan on the property means you're getting a leverage return on your money. Now, I'll leave it at that for the tangent, but basically there's two types of deposits you're going to need when you purchase a property. It's the deposit that you're going to pay to the bank, which is going to be you saying to the bank, that's my skin in the game, please give me the loan. They're going to require you to put in a deposit. The bank is not going to give you 100% of the loan of the property. And those deposits can range anywhere from 2% all the way up to obviously like 100%. 100% is not really a deposit, but if you're very cashed up, you could use 90% cash to purchase the property and buy it with 10% loan. Very unlikely. Here's what is, in most circumstances, what people do. They'll go to the bank and they'll get a 20% or 80% loan on the property. That's what the banks will like, and you put in a 20% deposit. So for example, if you're buying $1 million property, a 20% deposit on that would be $200,000. Now there's other costs on top of that you would require to purchase a property. I'm not going to get into that today. I just want to talk about the deposits, right? Now, in Australia, properties are getting to the point where they're really quite expensive, and if you're a first-time investor, it's in your best interest to buy the property as soon as you possibly can, right? So but the difference between saving up a 20% deposit and a 10% deposit or even a 5% deposit could be the difference between you buying a property today and buying a property in 2 or 3 years from now when you finally saved up enough money to make a 20% deposit. Now, if you want to buy a property with a 10% deposit or anything less than a 20% deposit, here's what you need to know. You're most likely going to pay lender's mortgage insurance, which is a fee on top. It can be capitalized into the loan, meaning you don't have to pay it up front, or some banks will require you to pay it up front. And now that we've got deposits out of the way, or deposits to the bank out of the way in the form of a purchase, for a loan, there's another type of deposit you need to be aware of when you're purchasing a property. So typically when you sign a contract of sale to purchase a property, and the offer is accepted, part of that offer you will need to put down a deposit which is called a holding deposit. And that holding deposit and it depends on which state you're in, but you may require it or you may not, okay? But the holding deposit is something that you put down into the trust account of the real estate agent that is you are buying the property off, to say that you are serious about buying this property, and that money that you put down will sit there until you settle on the property or until you satisfy the conditions of purchase, or the conditions of purchase are satisfied by you. Now, that holding deposit can or cannot be refundable. Now, I would recommend, if you're purchasing a property and you're going to put down a holding deposit, make sure the holding deposit is refundable, and then make sure that on the conditions, or all the conditions are met before you go unconditional on the property and risk your holding deposit. So hopefully this has been a little bit insightful for you if you're looking at buying your first property and you're not really understanding how a deposit works. If you guys have any questions on how deposits work to purchase a property, just hit me up in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. Bye.